After so many years of nurturing his passion of helping people to develop into the best versions of themselves, author Gumani Matshisevhe has broadened his horizons. He has recently published a motivational book titled Be the Driver of Your Life, where he encourages readers who are currently hitting rock bottom to pick up the pieces and take charge in changing their lives. To tell us more about how to do that, Gumani joins us now via Zoom. Gumani, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Simpiwe, the team and the Morning Live viewers at home.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us and welcome. Tell us more about this book and why you decided to write it.
Be the Driver of Your Life is a self-help book which helps one to find himself. I decided to write it last year during the first lockdown. We were under hard restrictions. People were not allowed to go to restaurants. Restaurants were not operating. So in my area, I saw many people searching for their skills, their hidden talent. I saw many people baking pizzas, exposing those talents which are hidden in them. So that's why I saw that everyone has something special within them if you search deeply.
Now tell us about what sparked this passion in you to see and help people develop into better versions of themselves.
Well, this thing, it started with me when I decided to repeat matric. I used to be an average student. I used to classify myself as an average. But the moment I decided to be the driver of my life, that's where things changed. I started to see myself as someone who's useful.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Gumani, the first chapter of the book focuses on the power of self-concept and questioning oneself. Tell us more about this particular chapter.
Yes, that's the reason I put that chapter as the first chapter of the book is because before you do anything, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself and differentiate yourself from the world. You have to know everything about you, the good and the bad side. That's where you will be able to know who you are and what you want.
Okay. And your philosophy is that being a better person comes after being a worst person. What do you mean by this?
If you connect with the first chapter, the power of self-concept, it means when you start to do self-analysis, when you do self-introspection, you search depth in yourself, then you discover the good in you, you discover the bad in you. Then that's where you're able to know yourself. And that's where you take a decision to develop yourself to be the better person. Because you can't be the better person if you will never be the worst person. Because even the people who we think that they are masters today, they started down.
Yeah, and my understanding of that analogy is that you want us to adopt the concept of being a phoenix which rises above its ashes, isn't it? And you also touch on the power of time and how most of us think that this is something we have a lot of, but waste. Tell us more about this.
Some they say time is money. So some of us we think that we have much time.
Yes.
And we don't have. So it is important for one to use times wisely so that tomorrow you don't regret and say, I was supposed to do things, and whereas you had time, but you use it on other stuff. So we have to use time wisely on what we do.
And one of the chapters in the book stresses that no one was made to be a driver of someone else's life. Break this down for us, and I suppose it ties in well with the title of this book.
Well, when I say that no one is supposed to be the driver of somebody's life, it's when I say that in these days, many people are being controlled by the external forces, fears, doubt, and people are scared to be on the driver's seat of their lives. They are on the passenger seat. They want to blame others for their own mistake. They want to blame others for their own lives. So when I say that someone is not on the driver's seat of his life, it means the person is being controlled by others. It might be peer pressure or a social pressure. That person have no degree of control over himself.
And you dedicate this book mainly to your mother. Just take us through what kind of a person your mother is.
Yes, unfortunately, my mom is late. Then,
Oh no, I'm so
my
sorry to
mom
hear
is
that.
loving. Yeah, my mom was so supportive. She's loving. So I know she's watching from the heavens. She was supporting. She was the pillar of my strength.
Okay. You know, Gumani, there are so many books on the market that preach the same gospel. So what is different about Be the Driver of Your Life?
Be the driver of your life doesn't just give you a hope that things will be okay. Be the driver of your life. It tells you that you have to know yourself. You must take charge of your life. No one will do unless you take control of your life. You alone, you can drive your life. No one else. You have to take charge of your life. You have to change the gear of your life.
Yeah, and for those who are watching this interview, but they feel that they've hit rock bottom in their lives and they're struggling to get up back on their feet, how would you advise them? What is it what are the buttons that they should press to get this car moving?
The caption of the book, the title says it all. Be the driver of your life. Never accommodate external forces such as fear, doubt, or what people say about you. Do what makes you happy. Be the driver of your life, in a nutshell.
Yeah, basically, yeah. What is it that they should be doing? You know, what is that one thing? What is that one ingredient that will allow them to get back on their feet?
They must search something within themselves, because myself, I believe that everyone is special. There's something hidden within ourselves. So it's something which we need to search and find a deep meaning. We have to do self-analysis. So many people are being controlled by social pressure. They do things because that particular thing is done by everyone. But the moment you focus on yourself, that's where you will see that there's something special within you.
Yeah, and speaking of social pressures, man, and I suppose that it's very, it's one thing that is a stumbling block for so many people's lives, because they want to do what everybody else is doing, thinking that it might help them in the medium to long term, but it certainly doesn't, because every person is unique and their situation is unique. Just how prevalent, how prevalent is, the social pressures, and how influential are social pressures in one's life?
Well, social pressure, if you can check now, we are the blaming society. We blame everything around us.
Yes.
we think that others are having it better. We develop that syndrome, grass is greener syndrome. We think that others are doing well than us. But when we get too close, that's where we realize that no, things are not really as we thought they are. Grass is not greener as we thought it was. So it's a matter of accepting yourself and taking charge of the situation around you. And because they say nobody is defeated until you start blaming somebody else. We have to shift from the blaming spirit and be responsible for our lives, because no one will change things for us unless ourselves we do so.
What gives you the push, Gumani? I mean, what inspires you to wake up every single day and taking charge of your life?
Myself, I was fortunate because I have the good team around me, because by the time I decided to repeat matric, I had the teachers who were encouraging, I had the teachers who were being supportive to me. The likes of my deputy principal, Mr. Raskanya, who was sharing a daily motivation with us, my chemistry teacher, Ms. Maduva, my maths teacher, Mr. Kodobo, my principal, Mr. Chivinda, Ms. Mudao, and other teachers. They were there for me. They supported me. So they pushed me. They made me see that there's something within me.
All right, Gumani, lovely chatting to you, man. Thank you so much for your time. How do we get a copy of this book?
Copies are available directly from me and from Bakoloro office, from my editor and publisher, Mr. Chipio Given Mukwewu.
So how are you reachable?
Yes, on my number is 072 2321 520.
All right, Gumani.
You can follow me on.
Yes.
Okay.
Carry on. Social media handles.
I'm even available on Twitter. Is Gumani the author, Instagram is Gumani Matshisevhe. On Facebook is Gumani Matshisevhe.
Okay, all the best, Gumani. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
That was our guest author this morning, Gumani Matshisevhe, and he's been